Hi everybody, it's Cindy. Thanks for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, please. Every little like and subscription really helps support me to keep going making these free tutorials. So today what I'm doing is playing with something that I haven't used in quite some time. It is a rust antiquing set. I actually bought some of this about 10 years ago. Because I had a white metal table out on my porch that I wanted to rust up. And I didn't like the white part of it. And so my local scrapbook store had this product, and I loved it. And cleaning out my studio, I came across an old bottle of this, and I bought some more, and I'm going to show you what a fantastic product it is and how you can antique just about anything. So this is called the Rust Antiquing Set. I bought this through a company called Blick, B-L-I-C-K, and I'll put the link down below. And as you can see, it works on wood, plaster, glass, ceramic, canvas, cardboard, plastic, metal. I think, did I say plastic up there? Plaster, plastic, metal, any paintable surface. So we're going to try this on a variety of things today, and I'll show you the before and after and how it works. How it works on each surface. What happens is they give you two different kinds of paint. Okay, step one is actually an iron paint. It's this paint here. Sorry for the glare. And this actually has finely ground iron particles in it. And it's actually very heavy compared to this one because it has the iron in it. It's kind of heavy. So you shake this up really well. This is the iron particles. They suggest that you put 2 coats on anything that you're trying to rust or age. And then what you do is you put this oxidation solution on it, and it rusts the iron in the paint. Totally fun. It gives a really great look on all of these different items that I was telling you about. So I pulled out a few things to try to show you today. This is just a piece of metal that I got from Vintage that already has kind of a copper look on it. Really not sure how it's going to work on this. We'll see. This is for my Vintage Sizzix machine, and I can emboss on this with the Vintage. It embosses metal. So that's what this is. I'm going to try that. I am going to try a book cover. So this is a piece of chipboard that is the size of a book cover, and maybe that will come out really nice. I've only ever tried this on glass and metal, so this will be kind of fun for me too. I'm going to try, what the heck, I'm going to try a piece of coffee stain paper. And I have some shiny metal objects here that I don't like the shine on. One is a bottle cap that's just too shiny, silvery, new looking for me. So I'm going to give that a try. And at an antique store, I found this old metal guitar pick. This thing is heavy and thick. I don't know what instrument you would use this on. I said guitar pick, but I really don't. That's what they said it was, but I can't imagine using this on a guitar. You would thrash your guitar and your strings. And I have a dog tag that I'm going to try, and then I have some of these blank slate key blanks that I also like to put in my Vintage machine and emboss on, and then I do sell them in my shop once I'm done embossing the key. They make really nice embellishments. So let's see, is that everything? Yeah, I think that's all I pulled out today. So I'm going to try all of these items, and we'll see how it works out. So the first thing is I do want to take off my rings and put on some chemical gloves that I stole from my husband's shop. I don't know that you need to do this, but I have health issues where I don't do well with chemicals. So I'm wearing gloves. Okay, and then you have to shake this up really well. I hope that I shook it up good enough. By the way, this whole kit is only like 15 bucks. And this is going to last you. If you're just doing little things like this is going to last you forever. So I think it's a pretty good deal. Oh, this was the other thing I wanted to do. Yeah. In this little kit here, I have a clock hand. Now I got to take my gloves back off again so I can get it out. Yeah, I wanted to antique that up, rust that up. There we go. Putting the gloves back on. All right. And I have a paintbrush that I don't really care about, a really cheapo paintbrush, because I don't remember how well this stuff cleans up. So let's just go through and put the rust paint on these items. You know what? I decided not to do that because I don't know what that is yet. I don't want to ruin it until I know it's ruinable. And for the paper, let's see. Let's just try just a cool little rust border. That might be neat. And I'm going to make it really super messy. Just a border right down this edge. And then I really should have gotten a larger paintbrush for this. So I think for right now, just for experimentation, I'm just going to do a little patch so we can see how that turns out. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to put on a second coat, and then I'll come back. Okay, so it's the next day. The instructions recommend that you let this the second coat of this iron paint dry for 12 hours, and so I left it overnight. I had to go and run a bunch of errands yesterday afternoon anyway, preparing for the big blizzard that we're having today. Hopefully you're all a-okay and digging out easily. It's still storming here, so we're in northern Maine, and today we've been the last to get it. So anyway, now that this, you can see the difference. So this was the before and this is the after. Has the iron paint on it. I didn't get 100% coverage, but that's okay because this is for experimental purposes, if I can spit it out. And I don't mind. It's going to be multicolored. Some of the iron paint's going to show, some of the brass is going to show, and then it's going to have the different rust colors. So it's not something that has to be painted perfectly. The bottle cap, and then so this is the before and this is the after with the rust paint. The key. my little clock hand, the coffee paper, and the chipboard. And my paper got stuck on there, so there'll be there's a little paper on there that I can't get off. No big deal. So our next step, shake it up, is this rust antiquing solution. Now, one caution that it says on here is that this is toxic to aquatic life. So you don't want to rust something and then put it in your fish tank. It's going to kill your fish. So this is a chemical here. So this is an oxidization chemical that it oxidizes the iron in that paint, and it's a clear, pretty watery liquid compared to the iron paint. And so you can put it on as thick or as thin as you want. You can put more than one coat, and it sinks in pretty quickly. Very, very quickly. Let me figure out a better way to do this. All right. So we'll just paint all these up. And it's kind of stinky. You know, it doesn't smell great, but it's not so bad that you can't do it in the house. I have asthma and it's not bothering me. Of course, I'm not going to do a big old table or something like that. I'm just going to have this open very briefly. And I'm just dabbing on the oxide chemical. I don't even know what it is really. Solution. There we go. The oxide solution. Let's call it that. And just for chuckles and grins, I'm going to put it on my plastic pad here. We'll see how it works on plastic. Okay, so now this I wish I had time-lapse camera because we could kind of watch it oxidize. So I'm going to leave this sit for a little while, and it does keep changing for several hours. So maybe when I first start to see some changes, I will put the camera back on, and then when I feel it's finally finished, I'll show you the end product. Okay, so I will see you in a little while. Okay, so here is our finished product. Let me show you what I did. So the first thing is the chipboard. It kind of turned out okay, but the paper didn't. So I think that when you use this on porous items, it doesn't work so great. So that's the coffee stained paper, and it's kind of neat on the side that it seeped through a little bit. I like that a lot. But this, I don't know. So I did this, and then I thought, well, maybe it's too porous, so I covered the other side with Mod Podge and repainted it, and it rusted a lot better. This is only one coat of the oxidation, so if I put another one on here, you can see it would look really cool, as opposed to this where it just didn't really. It rusted a little, but not in a really cool method like this, where it looks a little more natural. So I think there are some limitations to this product when it's a porous material. So the next thing is our little, let me stop that autofocus, sorry. So this is the copper piece, copper looking piece, it's not real copper, and I ran it through my vintage machine to emboss it, and this is how it turned out. I think it's kind of a waste. Of course, this is all experimentation, so I don't think I would emboss it again. The embossing just doesn't show up very much unless I start working with some of my other materials. I have other metalworking paints and buffers and things like that. I'm actually going to do a video on those a little later, and how I did this. But it certainly did rust up really nicely. It went from this shiny, brand new looking piece to this. Really cool. And then the bottle cap. Again, I just needed to put more paint on the sides, which I didn't. Actually, I'll tell you, this section of the video is almost 2 weeks later than when I started because I got caught up in having to fulfill orders, and then life happened and things like that. So yeah, this has been sitting for like 1.5 weeks. Here's the dog tag. Here's what it looked like before. Shiny, shiny. Now, normally I would do both sides, but for demonstration purposes, I wanted you to see the before and the after. So that's the before and that's the after. Looks very cool. Looks like something you just found metal detecting in the ground. My husband and I love to metal detect. Here's the clock hand before and the clock hand after. That turned out really good. And then this is the key before, and I did emboss it through my vintage machine. And again, I don't think I'd do that in combination with the rust. It just doesn't. It really just doesn't. You can't really see the embossing and what the image is very well. But I love the way the key turned out. So what I think I'm going to do with this, I had a plan for this. I want to start. I have a lot of ball jars that are full of buttons and whatnot, and they're all in a row on my shelves. I love the way jars of pretty embellishments look. So I'm just going to hang the key, I think, off of this jar. I'm going to put a bunch of twine, a whole bunch of twine around it. Right, and then I can't find my Tim Holtz scissors. We all lose things in our craft rooms, don't we? I've found things in the oddest of places. I just wondered, how the heck did that get there? Or what was I thinking? That's a more common question that I ask myself. There. So that's going to look pretty up on my shelf. All right. So we are done. I think normally this process that took me 2 weeks really should only take you half a day. And most of it is just the waiting in between the various coats. But I love this product. Again, I don't get paid anything for it, but I did it on a big, as I told you, a big metal table that was too bright white, and it looked fabulous afterwards. So it's a cool product for lots of different things, not just crafting, but for doing some home goods too. So okay, so that's about it, and I'll see you in the next video, and let me know if you have any questions about my process here. It was kind of disjointed. It's 4 or 5 different sections, so if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.